clearly been hiding under a rock. You have been paying attention to the fact that the only topic of discussion over the past 4 days has been Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a basketball player, a tremendous basketball player who is in a...
We are reacting to Candace Owens' decision to back her and not turn her back on Kyrie Irving. So take a listen, comment, subscribe, like. Let me know if you like what Candace have done. I think that what she have done is very important to the community, and we should learn a lesson on too.
A lot of trouble with the NBA. Now, why is Kyrie in trouble with the NBA? Well,
most people in today's society, even his own teammates, even people that's puppets with the industry, they had nothing positive to say about Kyrie Irving's response. Now, he didn't react. He just responded to something, which is brilliant. And Kyrie Irving can actually articulate, which makes him very dangerous. But I don't understand why he's been punished or humiliated for all these things. It seems like history is repeating itself. And it seems like they're suppressing free speech, the media, at that. But let's continue. That's why creating awareness is so important. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me guys know about how you feel about this. Are you even aware about this? Do you understand what's going on in the States? Let's continue.
I want to make sure that we unpack this story slowly so that you can form opinions that are based on facts and not based on the emotion that is perpetually in the media. So Kyrie Irving tweeted this. If you're listening to this podcast, there is no commentary on the tweet whatsoever.
Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. Now, this is the movie that he's been ridiculed about, and he wasn't even the creator of the Hebrew to Black to Negro film. It was actually made on Amazon platform. But my question would then be, why aren't anyone attacking Amazon for it? Are they too big of a conglomerate for you to attack them? Because what's really going on? Why attack the pawn when you can attack the king? I don't get it here, but let's continue. That's why awareness is so important.
It is simply a link to Amazon.com to a documentary that is entitled Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up, Black America. So he essentially tweeted a link to a documentary that is available for every single person to watch on Amazon. It's not like he directed your attention to an obscure website. He just dropped the link. And
last time I checked, everyone have Amazon. You probably have some things in your cart on Amazon that has not been checked out yet. So Amazon is a platform that we all use, at least in our lifetime. They also have Amazon Prime. But why aren't anyone attacking Amazon Prime, but you choose to attack the person that decides to respond to this topic? There's something going on in this world. I want you guys to leave a comment about what you think is going on. Foreshadow. Let me know what you see, what you feel. Let's continue.
Created an absolute firestorm online. The next thing that I saw was a statement that the Brooklyn Nets put out in regards to Kyrie's press conference. So there was a firestorm. Kyrie had a press conference where the journalists pressed him on why he shared this documentary. And the Brooklyn Nets issued this statement regarding that press conference. They said,
whoa, full court press. I think the media is applying basketball tactics. But let's continue.
quote, over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with...
Hold on, pause. Who do you think you are? You're talking to a grown man. You're trying to put a grown man in one of those baby swings. Does that method work? You're humiliating a grown man, so you don't think that he's going to have some form of animosity towards the energy that's being presented to him? Comment, subscribe, like about that. Why treat a man like a child? And why treat a child like a man? There's a big difference in between that. But let's talk about it. Can we talk about it? Go ahead, Candace. Can we talk about it?
Him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti Semitic hate. We believed that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one, and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance. We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time that he had the opportunity, but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism.
Hold on, people. Wait a minute. Fail to clarify. What do you want this man to do? Get on his knees and lose his dignity and pride? He's not doing it. Why would you do it? Sometimes when you say things, you must be unapologetic. If you're not directly harming someone, but you're having an opinion-based debate, because I would call this a debate, opinion-based debate. Why ridicule the man or try to make the man feel less than what he actually is? Why whip the man as if he's a slave? But let's continue. Candace can explain it as well.
When given a clear opportunity to do so, is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team.
Hold up. And comment if you agree with this one. Now, we understand that anti-Semitic means basically disrespect against the Jewish community. But why is it just one race inside of that clause? It should be disrespect towards any community. So wouldn't you say, okay, reverse psychology, they're being disrespectful to the black community? I'm just saying, can we talk about it? Well, let's think about it.
Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets.
And another point that I wanted to make, if the Jewish people run the media, run most of the businesses in the United States, so they proclaim, right? Then the thing will be, right? Most of these people that's going against Kyrie is generally, they don't want to stop their pipeline. They don't want to stop their cash flow. They don't want to stop their opportunity, their bread and their butter because of one person. But what does that tell you? You've been fooled by the magic trick, which is money. Because in a blink of an eye, when you close your eye and you decide to transcend out of this world, you're going to take none of these things with you. So have you guys forgotten? Have you forgotten? Well, let's talk about it.
We had decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. Wow, that's a very strong statement from the Brooklyn Nets. They're saying that he is unfit to be associated based on the words that he shared.
They are attacking his character. They're trying to dismantle this man. You're burying him in the media. You guys have to watch, this is a reference, right? Reference point. Watch House of Cards when you get a chance. And they show you how the politics and how the media works and how to use the media to your advantage or to the disadvantage, depending on how you want to play this game. And one thing that they did when you go against the grain, they always label you as being anti-Semitic. They did the same thing with Kanye and Irving next. To me, I wonder who's next week. Because it seems like this is not going to stop, because guess what? our speech, our freedom of speech is under attack. And if you study history, when your freedom of speech is under attack, that's when all problematic things begin to creep into in your life, into your doorstep and your doorways. So be very, very, very careful. Because America is going through something, or these United States is going through something that I don't think people are really seeing what's going on. Remember, this is chess, not checkers, but let's continue.
In his press conference, he offered no words and no commentary when he shared a link to this documentary, again, freely available on Amazon for any person to watch. But apparently the words of his press conference is what has set them off, and they are realizing that he is not condemning anti-Semitism. So when I saw this post, I went, wow, what did Kyrie Irving say? Obviously, he must have said something that was horrific and which all of us should get on board and condemn. He must have said something that was so bad that the Brooklyn Nets, the NBA Association, which painted the floors with Black Lives Matter, right? And even though Black Lives Matter was leading to looting and rioting, and people were dying in these BLM loots and riots, they still stood by and said, this is totally fine because Black people have to be able to express themselves. So obviously, reading the statement, he must have really tripped into some territory of wrongness that is worthy of the suspension. Then I actually listened to Kyrie Irving in his words, and I could not believe that the Nets had the ability to say that he was unfit to associate with them based on these words. Take a listen.
Hindsight, are you sorry for the hurt that your post?
He don't even want to be seen. Look at how he's wearing his hat. He don't want to look into you guys' eyes because guess what? You're trying to dismantle a man spiritually, emotionally, and physically. But let's continue. Comment, subscribe, like, help the discussion. Reaction video on Candace platform. And we just want to see who agrees with it and who doesn't. Shaq don't agree. Oh, he's going to have some uproar. A lot of people don't agree with it, but these are the people that's being paid in order to enjoy their fruits. But if your fruits, right, is being controlled by someone else's labor or someone else's jurisdiction or someone else's regulation, what does that say about your fruits? It means that you have an expiration date. Comment, subscribe, like.
Cause people.
I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm." Were you apologizing, or did you not apologize?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true?
Tell them again, Kyrie. Stick to your guns. He did not mean to cause any harm. He wasn't the creator, the producer, the manipulator, the programmer, the sponsor. He wasn't any of these things that propagated his opinion-based theory. So why are you guys attacking and insulting this man? It's bigger than just what he said. He must be the example. And sometimes when you suppress something, the opposite happens. You cannot suppress an expression because it begins to, guess what? Grow and gain awareness. So you thinking you're suppressing him, making him apologize when all you're doing is promoting the issue, and we're going to see who needs to be apologetic. Let's continue.
Represent your rights.
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid, figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America? Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and why I'm proud to stand here and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through. And the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community. And I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry.
Is this attack against Jewish community, right? Or is this attack against the black community? Inversion. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you think about that. Is it attack against the black community? I mean, the Jewish community for being anti-Semitic? Or is it a direct attack against the black community for being anti-black? Let's talk about it. Can we talk about it? This is Healthy Discussions, an educational platform. We will make you aware of topics. That's what's going on. We have to unlearn to relearn, teach to reteach. Because it all starts with teaching. Everything starts with teaching, with programming. What you was taught, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's dead wrong. But we're in a new era, a new way. Let's continue.
Sorry or not on something I didn't create, and it was something I shared, and I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility, then that's where I sit. So, these same questions that you guys ask, me dealing with it as being a melanated, pigmented person all around the world and dealing with racial biases against my skin color, demeaning me because of my religious beliefs, and I'm still sitting in the seat standing. So I take my full responsibility. Again, I'll repeat it, for posting something on my Instagram or Twitter that may have had some unfortunate falsehoods in it. But I also am a human being that's 30 years old, and I've been growing up in a country that's told me that I wasn't worth anything, and I came from a slave class, and I come from a people that are meant to be treated the way we get treated every day. So I'm not here to compare anyone's atrocities or tragic events that their families have dealt with generations of time. I'm just here to continue to expose things that our world continues to put in darkness. I'm a light. I'm a beacon of light. That's what I'm here to do. You guys ask me questions about basketball, I give you my expert opinion. You guys ask me about other things, I give you my opinion, and it's met with whatever you believe the perception or the deception is. You guys investigate my life every day, and you justify it by serving your own purpose, which I honor. I would like the same respect in return, figuring out just like anyone else. So please keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things, because just because I post a documentary doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic, and doesn't mean that I'm automatically standing with everyone that is believing in that. So it's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth, because I'm not afraid of these mics, these cameras. I used to be, looking everyone in the eye and telling them the truth, that I'm proud of who I am. Any label that you put on me, I'm able to dismiss because I studied. I know the Oxford Dictionary, you look it up, right? Just one of the biggest mistakes I had in being a kid was not knowing European or Western language until I started looking it up and understanding the definitions and why they say, if you want to trick a black person, put it in the book. I was wondering my whole life why they said that. Now I'm 30 years old and I know reading is a superpower because it helps me understand where I'm going and where I come from. Like a tree with roots.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods. It said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods
happened?
are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. I never liked anything like it. So the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors still, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. And you guys are asking me, respectfully, to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with. I didn't make it. So just please keep that same energy when you guys are addressing me.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm gonna repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not gonna turn into a spin around cycle of questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Kyrie, did you personally meet with the ADL?
I was informed that they wanted to have a meeting, and we handled it.
So I wanted to play that press conference in its entirety because it is important. It's important to underscore, first and foremost, the absurdity of the media, the way that they are behaving in that press conference. They're essentially approaching him, pretending that every single word of the documentary that Kyrie Irving did not make, he has to answer for. Could you imagine a world in which everything you watch, right, you are somehow now responsible for every single word within it? Notably absent, by the way, is the press going up to Jeff Bezos, who is the owner of Amazon, who runs Amazon, and saying, hey, why did you allow this documentary to be on Amazon? There's no outcry. There's no everybody delete your Amazon accounts because of this documentary. They are putting this firmly and squarely on Kyrie Irving, which is problematic in the first place. I want to also make it clear that in listening to his words, it is pointedly ridiculous that they would say that he is unfit to be associated with.
Thank you, Candace, for further explaining that. But whoa, we have the same opinions. And right now, like I say, this is a reaction video because I like to get it. I like to do different references. And this is my second time covering this topic. Because as the days go on, a lot of people will start covering this topic. And you should see how words and thoughts and how we can rewrite history by using the internet to travel around the entire globe, right? To interconnect and our thoughts with one another to then further explain the rights. So Candace get a round of applause for this one because, as you can see, she wasn't biased on this situation. Obviously, certain things she can't talk about on her platform, certain things she can. It's her platform, so she pick and choose what she want to talk about. If they decide to defund her, then that's what it is. But people will make that adjustment based on what's going on, and that's just the risk you take, right? So I'm proud of Candace for actually standing up for her people. I'm proud of Kyrie for actually standing up for his people. You see how both of those go hand to hand? Comment, subscribe, like. Healthy discussions.
Nothing that he said, but I would say that he is unfit to be associated with because he very clearly condemns the falsities in the movie. He says, I do not think...
Must piggyback off of this one. They're trying to assassinate his character. Because when you don't do what they want you to do, they begin to what? Scrutinize and assassinate your image, because your image represent what? You. That's why photographs are so important. That's why pictures are so important, because that's a pixel of you. So if you can find a way how to change someone's mind about what they see and how they feel about you, and what they hear about you, then that's a cold way of manipulating and using propaganda to make one bend or fold. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you guys think about that. Think about public reputation, how your image is so important, and how one on the internet can scrutinize you and destroy or distort your image, and how words itself have a major representation. That's why reading is so important. Words itself can change the world for the good, or it can change the world for the bad. Your choice.
This way, he actually calls them falsehoods that are unfortunate, right? He says that that is not what I said. Do not attribute every word in this documentary to what my beliefs are. He also very clearly stipulates to them when they ask him, are you anti-Semitic? He clarifies that he's not anti-Semitic. Now, why is Kyrie Irving saying that? Why is he saying I can't be anti-Semitic? Why is he saying that a couple of breaths after he talks about the Oxford Dictionary? So here is the definition of Semitic straight from the Oxford Dictionary.
A man that can read is a man that will succeed. How you think they say if you want to have something, put it in a book? If you want to know something, just pick up a book and read, especially when you're reading about the European language. Once you understand that, you can decode this entire universe because it's in the books. It's that simple. Why do you think, let's jump off topic right here. Why do you think when the blacks were slaves, the first thing that they tried to do was to tell you, hey, you cannot read, because if you can read, if you can get together, you can congregate, all those things, those togetherness shapes another reality. But why do you think they push the agenda on us being separate? Because when you're separated, you're easily programmable. It's that simple. When you're together, it's harder for them to program you. But let's continue healthy discussions.
It's relating to or denoting a family of languages that includes Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. The second definition listed is relating to the people who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic. So clearly what Kyrie Irving is saying, based on that definition, is that he believes that he is Semitic, that he hails from maybe Africa or from Asia, which is what the documentary explores. And I'm going to give you my feedback because obviously I watched the documentary after listening to this, right? His feedback is, do not make the word Semitic just about Jewish people in America. It includes a lot of
problem that I'm having too. That's the Oxford Dictionary. But you know, if you go onto Google and you type in anti-Semitic, you know, it gives you one definition. It's based on the Jewish community. So, what does that tell you? Are they being funded as well?
other people, okay? Now, you might disagree with that. You might disagree with the Oxford Dictionary definition, but you can't be mad at him for stating the actual Oxford Dictionary definition. The last thing that I want to say here, just regarding his press conference, and I want to say this really from the heart, because there was so much pressure that was put upon me to condemn Kyrie Irving, right? To condemn Kyrie Irving based on this.
She said. It was so much pressure placed on her to condemn Kyrie Irving, which means that the people that pay her is letting her know that you must degrade this man. But she actually stands for something. She has principle. She has some form of a moral. No, I may not agree with everything she says, but that's what a debate is. That's what the world is. You're not going to agree with something that everyone says. But what you do agree on, you must expand on those things. That's what we are created for, to expand on each other's idea. That's how you change the world. So she took the honorable role to say, hey, I understand that you guys are paying me this. You might be sponsoring here. You guys, your sponsorship might come from this community, but don't put me on that railroad track. My train is headed to another destination. Don't discriminate against me. Don't assassinate me or my character, my voice, my podcast, my freedom of speech, my programming. You guys have your own thing going on, but I'm going to represent what I have going on. And that's the power of the internet, the power of words. But let's continue.
Press conference to basically decide that his pain is irrelevant. When I watched this press conference, I felt Kyrie's pain.
Likewise,
I felt his pain.
This energy is so important. You can feel, and I quoted this and tweeted this the other day. Internally, you know what's right, righteously right, and you know what's unrighteous, wrong. Why do you know these things? Because you feel it. You feel what's right. It's a good, uplifting, high vibration. You feel what's wrong. It's low, dark. Let's not apply color on it. It's low vibrating. It's low emission. It's less energetic. It's less influential. It's not pure. See, those are the words that I can think of that comes up with being low vibrational versus high vibration. But that's a whole nother topic. Once again, this is healthy discussions. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. Because if we talk about it, we can then think about it. And if we think about it, we can change this world together.
I will say this emotionally and not rationally. As a Black person, people don't often think about how bizarre it is that we don't know where we come from, right? We don't know. If you ask the majority of white people, they'll say, oh, my family's from Scotland. My husband's family can go back so many generations.
We know where we come from. Because as history has presented itself, all your teacher have told you this if you went through the different levels of going through schooling, from elementary, middle school to high school to college to graduate school. They informed you in your history and say that you are African, some Europeans took you from your land, brought you over here to the Americas. Those made you African American. So you have no sense of home. You have no sense of where you're from. So if you don't have any sense of where you're from and you begin to look inward and try to find that out like Kyrie Irving did, what's wrong with that? Because, misery comes when you don't know where you're from. Misery comes when you don't know who you are. But elevation comes when you find out exactly who you are and where you're from. Everything else is beneath your feet. But let's continue. Healthy discussion. Once again, this is a reaction.
And talk about where they're from in England. And when you talk to most people, they have this sort of cultural understanding of their history. We don't. It's a weird feeling. You do sort of feel out of place. And yes, of course, it's because of the slave trade. And I'm not throwing that on anybody. I'm not saying that it's somebody else's fault. But
we was taught to feel that way, taught to be that way. We inherited those thoughts. It's in our DNA. But it's a way to change all of this, and it's about time. And we all should rise.
Kyrie Irving says is that you Kyrie Irving says is that you can't pit atrocity against another atrocity and basically say that his pain doesn't matter, that his noble pursuit of wanting to know where he came from, even if he landed on the wrong conclusions, is something that he is valid in feeling. It's a journey that he is valid in wanting to go on and wanting to partake in.
This video, go check out Candace Owens' platform. Go check out Candace Owens' platform, and she will let you know furthermore what's going on. Comment, subscribe, like. I'm going to end this because I feel like all the points have been said. Check out my other videos too, where the Honorable Minister Farrakhan spoke on it. Kyrie himself spoke on it. And as the weeks get closer to the end of the year, more and more people will speak on it, and I wonder who's next. Once again, this is Healthy Discussions. Peace and blessings.